Hey folks, Bill here from Survival Lore. Coming back today with another video. This one is a culmination of a few months worth of work and 20 years of knowledge. I've been working on something that has been on my mind for a long time, and that is a long-term sustainable wilderness survival kit. This isn't necessarily a backpackable kit, although you could strap this to something like an Alice frame if you wanted to. Uh, you do have that option, an Alice frame, one of the Kafaru Mystery Ranch, whatever it is. There's a bunch of other, like Alps makes them, Kelty makes external frames, whoever it may be. You could strap this to and it wouldn't be overly cumbersome, although it is heavy. This is meant to be thrown in a vehicle, kept in there, taken on a boat maybe. If you are someone who flies a float plane, this may be something that interests you. Uh, This is going to contain everything you need in here for long-term wilderness survival, from building shelter, water purification, food procurement, fire, signaling, um, and first aid. So with that, we'll jump into it. The kit itself is built around the Yeti Loadout Box. This is the Yeti Loadout 20 in, I forget, I think it's a lime and green color. You can see it's a fluorescent green. I went with this container because they're durable. They are sealed and watertight inside, and they're fully submersible with that, and they float. So if you are in a float plane, this or in a boat, you can toss this overboard. It will float, and it is surprisingly buoyant, even when it's filled with kit. If you leave this in your car, there are ways to attach Yeti coolers and stuff to your car, so it makes them harder to be stolen. These do have locking holes right here. They are metal reinforced. This is a heavy duty container. So this is actually part of the kit. You can store water in here, goods, keep things dry in a long-term survival situation, which is why I wanted something like this. So we'll get into it. This may be a little longer video today. Um, that's okay. This is going to be kind of a full-length video. So first off, this does have a nice heavy-duty nylon carrying handle. Has that rubber grab handle right here that is pretty sturdy. It is convenient, guys. This kit, as it stands, I believe weighs about 45 pounds in here, so we'll keep that in mind. I tossed this in the swimming pool, floats fine. It's surprisingly buoyant, so we have that with this. We'll break in here. This is a very secure container, so these clips here, you have to pull them, lift out, pull, lift out, and then it comes up. I'll slide this off to the side here so we can go through. So in here you have an optional organizer up here. I kept it in here because I wanted to organize some small stuff and some strangly stuff in here, so we left that in there. In this there comes a divider, and there comes a small container that sits up on these ridges. I had no use for it; just took up space. I didn't add anything into the kit, so they got left out. So we'll bust into this. We'll work our way down. We'll come back to this. On top, we have a Silky Zubat saw. We could have went with a smaller folding saw. I decided to go with a Silky Zubat because I wanted something that was going to give us plenty of ability to cut firewood, whether you're in the eastern woodlands, the boreal forest, wherever it may be. Having a saw like this gives you some serious capabilities, whether it comes to sheltercraft, firewood, or whatever it may be. So with a Silky Zubat, and this isn't, we see that it's a $100 Silky saw right off the bat inside of a $250 Yeti container. This isn't an inexpensive case. This is a high quality, durable, sustaining kit. You can put together inexpensive kits. There's nothing wrong with that. I tried not to spare too much expense in this, so I wanted to put together what I felt was about the best kit I could, and something that would be able to be used in multiple environments. So with that, let's keep that in mind. So next up, right on top, we have a 55-gallon trash bag liner or a trash liner. We all know the purposes of trash bag liners, the trash can liners. They're heavy duty. You can use them for multi-purposes, using as a browse bed holder to hold your leaves and stuff, improvised poncho, whatever it may be. Having one in this kit, we're doing it. So next up, we have, for me, I have a large topographical map in here. It's all folded up. This is for my general uh, eastern woodlands here in Pennsylvania, from Allegheny National Forest down to Gallitzin, Corn Planter, Forbes State Forest. It took some work, but I got that map folded down pretty well in here. So wherever if you're a pilot and you know you're taking something somewhere, you change that map out. This map is something that is interchangeable. That's why it's near the top. So you can go in, change it out to wherever you're going to be. So whenever you're using this kit, you should have a corresponding map on the area you're going to be. So that's something to keep in mind. On the back, we have a Right in the Rain notebook. If something happens, you're going to want to be able to leave notes, take notes, whether it's navigation, notes for people trying to find you, whatever it may be. We have a notebook here. We also have a protractor for doing navigation. We have a heavy duty Right in the Rain lead pencil. And lastly, we have a Sharpie on here. It's going to give you the ability right in here, take notes, write on your map, whatever need be, we have that in there. So we'll set that right here. Next up, we have part of our food procurement kit. This is a small fishing kit. If we want, at a later date, I'll go through. We have assorted fishing line. There's about 100 feet total here. Bobbers, assorted weights, and assorted size hooks. And up under here, we have some flies. We really wanted to make sure this kit provided all of our necessities. So we have a complete and thorough fishing kit. It is not super lightweight, but it is very capable. So we wanted to have that because most of the time when you're adventuring outdoors, if you do get lost and you're 100 miles away, whatever it may be, you're deep in the woods, having the ability to catch fish, to feed yourself, that's a huge thing. There are streams all around North America. Almost all have fish. Yes, there are some polluted ones, especially in my area. You have a lot of coal runoff, a lot of industrial stuff. But still, having that ability to have a fishing kit in here and being able to catch fish, massive opportunity as far as providing for your own survival. Next up, we have a Tough Possum XL Survival Scarf. This is in here because it's a great multifunctional piece of kit. So we're going to back up, going to hold this up. This is how big this is. This can be used as an improvised blanket, and it also is a huge signal panel. It is the Ranger Green on the outside with the fluorescent orange on the inside. This is going to let you help you aid in your warmth, being able to use as an improvised sleeping bag. It can be used to make a browse bed, used as a signal panel. You can tie it together to use it as a scarf, carry things in it, whatever it may be. It's a fairly compact, lightweight piece of kit that gives us multiple options, and in a survival situation, this thing can be put to good use, especially long term, guys. That's the key thing here. This isn't necessarily maybe 3 or 4 days before someone comes gets us. It might be a while. So that's what you want to keep in mind with this kit. Near the top, what I wanted to include in this kit was a book. I wanted to go with a book that had the most knowledge crammed in here that I could find. I had a couple options. I was thinking maybe a Bradford Angier book, How to Survive in the Wild, Taming the Wilds. We had Cody Lundine's 98.6 Degrees. That was an option. Ray Mears' book. And I even considered the Meat Eater survival guide that recently came out. That's a very good one. What I ended up going to, and I think for good reason, resulted back with Bushcraft by Morris Kahansky. There's a reason this is kind of the Bible for wilderness survival, Bushcraft. There is such a birth of knowledge in here, and the thing I really enjoyed was the illustrations that are in here. So not only does it tell you, it shows you how to do a lot of the things it's going to explain. So in a situation, there, guys, Ians are in this community. We all know a great deal, but we cannot remember everything sometimes. So having this and being able to put this in here is going to be able to let you look. If you're stuck somewhere, it's going to give you some reading material, and mainly it's going to give you a physical knowledge, a wealth of knowledge to have in this kit. Because what if it's not you? What if it's your children, your teenage son or daughter who ends up having to use this? This right here is worth its weight in gold in this kit, in my opinion. So that's why we have Bushcraft by Morse Coherent Scan here. Next up, we have a small bit of food and a bunch of tea bags in here. Some mashed potatoes and a bunch of mint tea. Whenever you're stuck out there, there can be days where you're going to need something. So being able to have some food, tea bags, whatever it may be, we're going to have that. It's going to be a pick-me-up, and it's going to give you some nutrition if you're having trouble obtaining food, whatever it may be. So a small food bag, we have that in here. Next up, we have a fire kit. So in this kit, we went heavy on some stuff. One of those was fire. You can't we couldn't find a all-inclusive shelter in here, so we wanted to be able to make sure no matter what, if it's the winter, we wanted to have surefire and the ability to start many fires. So in this kit, bright orange, you guys know my system. Bright orange is always going to either be emergency kit or a fire kit. So fire kit's what we went with here. We have a pack of the super big Zippo matches, a whole package of fire plugs. I have a 10-minute road flare. This can be used for signaling, or this is the surest fire we have in this kit. You crack it off, put it to your fire prep, and it's going to get it going. Next, in there we also have one of these. This is a pull start fire starter. You loop, there's a string in here, loop it around a log, grab the other one, pull it, and it lights this off, and it burns for a solid 10-15 minutes. So for children, if this kit has to be used by them, instructions are on here. That's why we have this in here, guys. Remember, this isn't a lightweight kit. We wanted something sustainable and purposeful in an emergency situation. Tin, we have our basic fire kit you guys have seen. Bic lighter, candle, stormproof matches, foil, and the pencil sharpener, and a wet fire tab. Sustainable. So long-term fire kit. We have a flint and steel kit in here with the magnifying glass. Guys, that's it. And lastly, we have a pocket bellows, and we have our string for bow drill fire. We wanted to keep this all-inclusive. Everything in here is purposely made for Firecraft, so keep that in mind. Zip this back up. We'll set our fire kit down here. So next up, we have a flashlight. This is a Streamlight dually. It has an LED bulb. This is run off double A, and it has two lights. You can see it has one on the side, and it has your traditional one right here. This is an inexpensive flashlight, relatively speaking, being about 50, 60 bucks. But we want this because they are super durable, and they run for a great deal of time. Runs off 2 AA batteries, so that's what we want with this guy. This is a Streamlight dually because we all know why you want to have a flashlight. Flashlight's going to give you the ability to search for things, navigate, walk at night, work at night. This is a force multiplier in a survival situation. Next up, a pair of good quality leather work gloves. These are just some cowhide heavy duty work gloves, not insulated. We just want to be able to work, maneuver stuff in the fire with taking care of our hands. If we get stuck in a situation where this kit is being used, you're probably going to be there for a while, so you want to take care of your hands. Your hands are the most important thing you have when you're out there in a survival situation. If you can't fend for yourself, if you can't build things, craft things, you're useless to yourself. You're not going to do yourself any good. So leather gloves. Next up, we have an extensive first aid kit. This isn't a tough possum pouch. Doesn't matter what it would have. I have this on here because you let this sit out in the daylight, charges up the silene tape, and you can actually see that very well at night. So that was a consideration when picking this pouch. Inside, we have a stuff for trauma. We have a cat tourniquet, different Israeli bandages. We have Gold Bond cream here, stuff that's going to keep you working. Some dude wipes. In here, there is dual strength ibuprofen and acetaminophen. These are something kind of new to the market. It's the dual action Advils. Having these in here gives you something to handle some minor pain if you have something come up, if you get a migraine, whatever it may be. Gives you the ability to take care of that. Also included in here, we have some diuretics and antihistamines. So I think it's Benadryl, and we also have an anti-diuretic. So, because you want to be able to stop diarrhea and allergic reactions if you get into a situation where you're out there for a while. Nobody may be coming, and dehydration and anaphylaxis is going to be your worst enemy. So we take care of those in this first aid kit. So as you can see, guys, we're clocking. This video is already long. This is pretty extensive. We're going to keep going, but I just want to say, keep in mind that this is for long-term wilderness survival. Like, this is, if you, a lot of us probably growing up read the book Hatchet. Imagine he had this kit with him when the plane went down. Like, that's the kind of thing you want to keep in mind. This kind of kit could make his life a lot easier. Luckily, he did have a kit in that plane. But having something like this is going to make your life 1,000-fold easier. So we'll keep going. There's still a lot more in here. This is a heavily capable box. So we wanted to fill it out and show you guys what I would put in here. And this is the kit that actually rides on our car now. So next up, we have 4 8-hour chem lights. These are blue. I went with blue because blue is a color that you don't see in the wild. Even orange sometimes. Like, from reading a couple things, blue may be, along with yellow, or like a fluorescent yellow, the most vibrant colors that stick out in the forest. So we went with the blue chem lights in this kit. Next up, we have a multi-tool. This is kind of tool heavy in here, so we'll keep that in mind. The multi-tool itself is a Victorinox Swisstool Spirit X. For my money, this is the best multi-tool for survival bushcraft out there. It has all the obligatory features you would want. We have the great pliers on a form-fitting frame. We have all your basic screwdrivers, Phillips, flathead. We have the file, the great Victorinox scissors, because if you're out there, you are going to want a pair of scissors. So next up, we have the famous Victorinox saw that the Swiss Army knives use. There is not a better saw on a multi-tool. And lastly, you got the quality Victorinox blade. There are other features on here that make me pick it. There's also actually, let's see if I can get it out here. This is a sleeper tool for me. The Spirit X has a sharpened chisel on it. It's hard to see, but it is right here. That is a sharpened chisel. So for doing woodwork, crafting things, you're going to be hard pressed to beat the Victorinox Swisstool Spirit X. So again, not a cheap kit. This is a $150 multi-tool, but we wanted to have the capabilities in here. That's key, number one, most important thing. Next up, we have a fixed blade knife. We went something basic. This is a Mora Garberg, the leather sheath. We went with the leather sheath over the plastic simply because we have the flat for retention. We wanted that because when that's on your belt, you don't want to take a chance of losing your knife. So with the Mora Garberg with the leather flap sheath. Stick that right up here. Not going to spend too much time on that. If you have questions about the Garberg, I have another video on it, the Victorinox Swisstool. Next up is the Fiskars Hatchet. I went with the Fiskars Hatchet because it's small, compact, and still gives you some great capabilities. So wanted to make sure, like I said, this is a tool-heavy kit because you're going to be out there for a long time. If you have to put this kit to use, you want to have tools that are reliable and will get the job done. So we went with the Fiskars Hatchet. I'll stick that right up there. Next up, for shelter, we went with a 10 by 10 silnylon tarp. This isn't going to be your only shelter. This is going to be your primary get out of the sun type shelter. It will last you. It is a tough shelter. So we went with this. It's 10 by 10, has guy lines already on it, so it's ready to roll right out of the bag. And again, guys, not a cheap kit. That tarp's like, it's not a super expensive one, but it is like 120 bucks. So it is a high quality Etowah tarp made in the US. So that's something to keep in mind with this kit. We wanted high quality products the whole way through. Next up, we have our cook kit. And this is, pull out our spoon. We have a stainless steel Nalgene bottle, the 1 quart. Something's biting me. And then we have a Snow Peak titanium spork, the Toaks titanium pot and lid in here. We keep this rolled up in here so you can fit everything back in. Shove that in. And then the spoon just slides down in here to keep tension on that. Having a versatile cook kit like that gives us the ability to store water, boil water, cook, and do multiple things at once. So in that small package, we have a lot there. So that allows us to boil water, cook food, cook our small game, our fish, whatever it may be in that pot. So we have that. Next up, we have a CNOC bag. This is a 2-liter CNOC bag. These are one of the best water storage options on the market. It's lightweight, they're tough, and they're simple to use. And with this, we actually have some Aquatabs up here we'll get to later. But that is, if you find yourself in a situation where firewood may not be that plentiful, but you do have the ability to access water, you can purify your water chemically with this kit. So we'll keep that in mind. Let's see. Another thing we have, LifeStraw. Self-explanatory. You can drink from your water bottle straight from the source, whatever it may be. We wanted a long-term water filter option because eventually you will run out of the chemical tablets, even with 50 of them. And boiling water can be tedious. So we wanted to have the ability to drink straight from a source with a filter. So LifeStraw we have right up here. This is getting pretty heavy up here, so we're going to crack into up here next before we finish out this bottom. So you saw the fishing kit. We have that. Next up, a set of 12 survival snares. There are various sizes here. There are 12 total. This will let you get anything from beaver, groundhog, porcupine, small game, marmots, whatever it may be, wherever you're at, squirrels, mice, whatever it may be, you have a snare in here that will work for different size games. So 12 different already set up, ready to go snares. So we wanted to make sure in a situation we're able to provide ourselves with some sustenance. So we got the snares and we have the fishing kit. So we're on our way to doing that. You got passive fish, you have passive food gathering. You can set these, check them, and it's going to be working for you while you're doing other stuff. So that's something to keep in mind. Also in here, the one thing we didn't have in the fire kit is a very large 1/2 inch by 6 inch ferro rod. This again is our sustainable fire making. That's all that big pouch has. Next up, we'll start in here. We have our map tools. Next up is important that we have a compass. You do not have to have a Brunton pocket transit in this kit. I have this. It's been sitting at home. It's not in use. I don't carry it. I should say I carry it sometimes, but I've been switching to a different compass. So this went in here. This is a high quality Very accurate, just about one of the best compasses on the market. That is a brunt and pocket transit. You don't need it. You don't necessarily need something like this, but having a good quality compass, definitely in this kit. You can see it does have a mirror, adjustable sighting, everything you're going to need in a compass setup, that will cover it. Again, I wanted the best quality kit I can put together with the stuff I had at home, and you're seeing what it is. Again, you can get by with a lesser compass. You don't need a $500 brunt and pocket transit. Full disclosure, I did not pay $500 for it. I bought it used. Still one of my favorite, if not my favorite compass. Whenever I get a new compass, I set that up and I test my other compasses, that whether it's button compasses, whatever it may be, I test their accuracy with that. So something to keep in mind. The 50 Aquatabs right here with the CNOC bag, that's going to give you that chemical filtration. Next up, we have a storm whistle. Not the smallest or most compact, but we wanted something that was going to be as loud as possible, so we went with the storm whistle. Very, very loud, and that's going to give you the ability to signal people who are farther away, along with having a signal mirror. So, you know, every kit I build is going to have a signal mirror, the ability to wave to signal planes, helicopters, people at a distance. This is something that's indisposable in a signaling kit. So next up, we have a headlamp. This is a Black Diamond Astro. It's a very simple but durable headlamp. Went with this. Pair that with your flashlight, and you have a lot of options for working at the dark and the waning hours. So we'll stick that right here. The headlamp and the pocket transit, the compass. Next up, we're getting into some more pieces of the shelter. So this kit is set up to be able to be used even in the winter. So obligatory, we have the Mors Kansky Bushcraft book. We have to have the supplies to make a super shelter. So in here we have the 2 mil plastic drop cloth. To go along with that, we have 2 SOL heat sheets, the Mylar blankets that you use in tandem to build your Mors Kansky super shelter. So that gives us a great winter shelter option, along with having the SOL bivy. This is the SOL XL heat sheets bivy. These aren't perfect, but they work very well for their purpose. And if you use them right, they will save your ass in a bad situation. So I always have these in all my kits, guys, and know that. One of my favorite pieces of emergency gear. I will always put this in an emergency kit. If it fits, it's going in. Next up, we have cordage. I wanted something reflective, so we went with this blue and green reflective 550 cord. There's about 50 feet here. So we have that. You have the inner strands and everything. That is going to be the setup shelter, and you want that at night. If someone's looking with a flashlight, that's going to reflect. But our primary cordage is going to be this. It's a full roll of number 18, I believe it is, bank line. This is a 1 pound roll. This is going to be our primary cordage because you can use it and forget it. So full roll of cordage. Next up, we're getting to some signaling equipment. We have a full roll of orange flagging tape. This is going to let you set up SOS messages, flag your trail, put up markers around camp. It's going to let you, so you don't lose camp, and if people are in the area, they're going to see this, and that's a signal for rescue. So the orange flagging tape in a kit like this, I think that's an indispensable piece. Next up, a fluorescent orange hunting vest. So this kit may be set up for long-term survival, but you still want to be rescued. So whenever you're doing anything, toss this on. It's going to increase your visibility from the air, from around you, whatever it may be. Hunting season, this is just something to cover your ass and help you be found. So we got this is just an Allen one I bought from Walmart. Something I put in my kids' survival kits when they're out with me. They always have an orange vest in their backpack. If they get lost, they put it on. Same idea with an adult here. Your plane goes down, you're stuck somewhere, you're on foot, put that on. It's just going to increase your visibility. So I saved 3 things in here, more than 3, so we'll get to it. So with being able to sustain yourself long term, the one thing I wanted to put in here, this is a Himalayan salt lick. I bought this at Tractor Supply. For a long-term survival kit, being able to provide yourself with some nutrients and vitamins, having this to cook with uh, as an additive to your drinks, having salt in the mineral lick here is going to be a huge force multiplier for you. It weighs about 3 pounds, but it is worth its weight in gold in a situation where you're stuck out in the woods. Having that ability to salt meat, provide yourself with some electrolytes, sodium, and the different minerals that are in there. That is, for me, that is one of the most essential pieces in this kit. So we have that. Next up, this is something I've found myself putting in more and more survival kits. You're going to see this in my children's survival kit. This needs to be, if you have a child or setting up a kit for a child, or even grown-ups for that matter, I believe these should be in there now. This is almost a prerequisite for me for putting together a survival kit. We'll turn it, depending how far you turn it, has different settings. This is a marine SOS beacon. These have replaced, the idea is to replace flares. This will burn for 70 some hours. It runs on 2 CR123s. I believe this brand is Tektite. There are a bunch of other good brands I've been looking at. This one with the reviews and stuff was what I went with. Having this as a passive signal at night, being able to tie it in a tree, has a shock cord here for you to mount it somewhere. Being able to put this up at night. So say you're a child or you're lost in the woods and there are people searching. You turn this on, it's hard to tell in the daylight. That is a very bright flash right there. That is going to be able to be seen from very far away. So that's why we went with this. Again, we're at the point where this is now a prerequisite for survival kits for me. This is one of the, I think one of the greatest things you can put, especially for kit. I know I'm harping on this, but the ability, so if a child gets lost, it's at night, you turn this on, you can see this from so far, even in heavy forest. So from the air, this will be seen. Like, this is another thing that, again, I say it's worth its weight in gold. So we have that. That is I think they're called LED flares for boats and marine purposes. You can find them, that one's about $75 on Amazon. So keep that in mind if that's something you're looking for. Next up, just have a bandana here. It's 100% cotton. You guys know the purpose of the bandana, the uses for it. So we have that here. We'll stick that right there. What else do we have up here before we get too heavy? We have tool, one of my file tools. You can use as a steel striker, file for setting traps, crafting things. Of course, we're going to have these in this kit. So we have the file tool. Next up, we have a small sewing kit and repair kit. Some duct tape on the outside, some thread, fishing, wax thread in here, different needles, and a thimble. This is going to let you repair your gear in a long-term situation. Your tarp needs fixed, you have duct tape for it. We have that covered here. Your clothes in a long-term situation, you may only have what you have on, so you're going to want to be able to repair your stuff. Next up, we have 2 or 3 more things in here. Just going to pull them all out at once. So we have a 1-inch roll of Gorilla Tape. You guys know the uses for Gorilla Tape. Band-aids, cuts, repair, putting things together, fire extenders, whatever it may be. Gorilla Tape is worth its weight in gold out here. So we have that. We are tool heavy, so we did pack a Fall & Even DC4 sharpening stone. That lets us maintain our tools, work safe, because we all know the adage, a dull blade is a dangerous blade. So we want to make sure when we're out there cutting, whether it's your hatchet, your knife, your multi-tool, whatever it may be. You can keep them sharp, and that way they're working properly. Last up, along with the tool maintenance, most of our tools are carbon steel. We just have a small bottle of REM oil to take care of them, lubricate them, make sure they're not rusting. Last couple items here. So even though we have the kit, I wanted to pack a very lightweight backpack. So this is an REI Flash 22 backpack. I have a couple. This was the brightest one I had. Most of them are green, tan. This one's purple with some yellow and blue camo. This lets you pack your stuff around camp. If you need to go trapping, toss your traps in. The reason we put it in here is because it's so lightweight. So we have this in here. We'll set that right up here. We have a backpack to carry your gear, and you can't fit all this. But once you set up camp, you can carry your knife, your string, whatever it may be in there. And one of the last things we have in here is a poncho. So this doubles as a tarp. It's an old Coleman Outfitters poncho. Staying dry in a bad situation, we all know that's going to be one of the most important things you can do. So, and the last item in the kit, as you guys have probably seen, we have this. We all know what that is, and that is for this. This is the U.S. Survival Henry AR-7. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it fits nice in this kit. And this goes along with our other stuff, because I don't want this video taken down. It goes along with our other food procurement stuff that folds up nice into that neat little package. You can, in a kit like this, 100 of those CCIs will go a long way in small game hunting. So, as you can see, we've covered food heavily, we've covered water heavily, we have different methods, we've covered shelter, the different items we have for shelter, whether it's the super shelter, the tarp, the bivvy. We have signaling with the flare, flagging tape. We have the orange blankets, the orange vest, the whistle, and the signal mirror. We have lighting. We have a flashlight, headlamp. We can navigate. We have our maps, our compass, and our map tools. Various cordage with the bank line and the 550 cord. Gloves to protect our hands. Chem lights for signaling at camp, whatever it may be. They just have a number of uses. We got our food, and we have our fishing kit. And all that, then that gives us this container here as well. So I probably forgot something. I think I went through pretty well, fairly thoroughly when I thought about this. We could probably squeeze some more food in here in other places, so that's something I would probably do. But I think with all that said, this kit gives us some serious capabilities if you were to find yourself in a long-term survival situation. Along with the gear, having a knowledge base in there with the Morse Kahansky book is going to allow you to not only use the gear but apply it in a proper way and to set yourself up for success. And again, another part of being prepared when you go on those adventures, tell people where you're going. If no one knows where you went and you're in a large space, no one's going to know where you're looking for you. And that's kind of the purpose of this kit. Like if you are out there and you're not sure people are looking for you, this kit's going to allow you to sustain yourself. You have even protection from stuff. It's not ideal, but having that AR-7, the Henry, is a lot more than having nothing. So I thank you guys. This was a fun one for me to put together. It allowed me to look at things a little differently, from a lightweight to emergency perspective to just putting together the best kit possible. Like I said, it was not cheap. This is about I think I had it priced at like $2,000, $2,500, right around there, in between there. So thank you guys. If you have questions, I know this is a longer video. Please drop them in the comments. Anything you want to talk about, whatever it may be, please do so. I thank you for you guys' continued support. Even when I start rambling in videos like this, I love it, guys. The ends provide me with questions. It lets me look at things in different perspectives, ideas, whatever it may be. I'm sure you have seen some of the influence I've taken from recommendations and stuff. So thank you guys. This is Bill again from Survival War. Please like, subscribe, and share. I do appreciate it. The channel is growing. we're coming up into fall, so you're going to see a lot more videos. We're going to be getting out more. Things are starting to slow down, so you're going to see more adventure stuff and testing of kits and stuff like that. So thank you guys. I hope this video is helpful for somebody. I appreciate everything from the bottom of my heart. It means an immense amount to me, the amount of support I get, the kind words, and all that. So thank you guys again. This is Bill, and I'll see you in the next video.